probably wondering how we got into this situation. Let's take it back a few years. Whoa, too far! Oh, there we are.
In a newly formed nation, created on the basis of liberty, independence, and democracy, a group of determined individuals worked to make their nation prosper. With the creation of the Constitution and the installment of the first president, America was on the road to success. Yet despite Washington's warning, political parties began to form, and a once united nation soon became divided. At the forefront of the political turmoil was Alexander Hamilton, one of the nation's most famous Federalists. On the opposing side was Thomas Jefferson, a firm anti-Federalist and the creator of the Jeffersonian Republican Party. This documentary will explore the conflicts surrounding the creation of the two-party political system in America. By examining the legacy of the early presidents, we will tell the story of America's early years and the impacts they would have in the future. So kick back, grab a juice box, and get ready to learn. George Washington, the first president of the United States, decided to end his presidency in 1797 after his second term. Before leaving office, Washington delivered a farewell address to the nation. In this address, Washington warned the American people of the most prevalent dangers to the well-being of their nation. The first major threat to the U.S. was one of foreign policy. He explained to the American people that the U.S. should remain out of foreign politics if it wanted to grow and prosper. However, he did not denounce commercial relations with foreign countries. The second threat he saw to the young country was that of political parties. Washington believed that the formation of political parties would prove to be detrimental to the government. But despite his dire warnings, two quarreling parties would emerge and later consume the political agenda of the late 1790s. While Washington's address was an infamous event that would set a precedent for those who followed him, the seeds of political parties had already taken root in America. Their creation began with a disagreement over the Constitution. Before Washington's presidency, two groups had formed, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. To try and gain support, the Federalists created a Bill of Rights for the Constitution that would be included in return for votes from the Anti-Federalists. This Bill of Rights included 10 amendments that outlined the freedoms of an American citizen. Alexander Hamilton, a major figure in American politics, played an important role in gathering support for the Constitution. Hamilton was a dedicated Federalist, and in order to persuade anti-Federalists to vote to pass the Constitution, Hamilton wrote a series of articles known as the Federalist Papers. These papers attacked the Articles of Confederation while also describing the benefits of the Constitution and then explaining how the new government would function. While his work was important in providing valid arguments against anti-Federalist claims, the Federalist Papers themselves only played a small role in assisting the ratification of the Constitution. Hamilton's work went far beyond campaigning for the support for the Constitution. He is actually more famous for the unique economic system he promoted and encouraged for the new country. He wanted America to
encourage manufacturing, assume responsibility for the country's debts, standardize and control the currency system through a national bank, link the interest of wealthy citizens with the government's success, and finally maintain friendly ties with Britain in order not to provoke a disastrous trade or shooting war.
The Revolutionary War made each separate state of the new nation accumulate large sums of money. Since the new nation was already suffering from debt, many Federalists, like Alexander Hamilton, proposed the idea of the formation of a national bank of the United States of America. This bank would require the states to rely on the federal government, which concerned many anti-Federalists.
The neoclassical design of the bank was intended to recall the democracy and splendor of ancient Greece.
The bank brought forth many arguments between both parties. Large court cases decided the fate of the bank, as seen in McCulloch v. Maryland, which decided that states could not infringe on the rights of the national government. The national bank was just one conflict, a part of the plethora of issues that the Federalists and Anti-Federalists argued between. Adams was president from 1796 to 1800. He was a Federalist who passed many controversial acts during his presidency, such as the Alien and Sedition Acts. Acts like these, which restricted freedom of speech and immigration, contributed to the fiery election of 1800. According to Joan B. Freeman,
The election of 1800 brought about nasty political mudslinging, campaign attacks and counterattacks, personal insults.
the candidates in this odd election were John Adams, a Federalist, and Thomas Jefferson, a Democratic Republican. What makes this election so unique is that the Electoral College was also allowed to vote for the candidates' running mates. Aaron Burr, Jefferson's running mate, received the same amount of votes as Jefferson from the Electoral College. The new nation was faced with the conflict of who was to be the next president. The decision was made in the House of Representatives, where each state had one vote. Jefferson won the position of President of the United States, and Burr took the position of Vice President. As president from 1801 to 1809, Jefferson would attempt to limit the role of the national government in citizens' lives and advocate for individuals' liberties. As the father of the Declaration of Independence, it is quite ironic that Thomas Jefferson himself was a slave owner. Growing up on a Virginian plantation, Jefferson subscribed to the idea of white supremacy. Despite his prejudice, Jefferson was an important historical figure who doubled the size of the United States. In 1803, territories west of the colonies were purchased for $15 million. What a steal. This is known as the Louisiana Purchase and led to the Corps of Exploration and Jefferson running for a second term. Hamilton made his distaste in the vice president, Aaron Burr, very well known. He told his fellow Federalists not to embrace him, and Hamilton saw him as a dangerous addition to the Federalist Party. After hearing of this, Burr sent Hamilton a letter demanding for his apology. Hamilton refused to apologize, and Burr quickly challenged Hamilton to a duel. Hamilton was against the practice of duels, but felt that he needed to oblige to Burr's terms and join the duel out of honor. Yet he decided not to shoot, as he wanted to give Burr a chance to reflect. Burr took his opportunity and shot Hamilton in the abdomen, and he died July 2, 1804. Hamilton, Burr, and the other historical figures of this time extends far into the following decades. Not only did they make numerous contributions to the government, but they also played a significant role in creating the first political party system. Their work, whether intentional or unintentional, has resulted in the two-party political system which is still in effect today. The models and practices they imposed in the late 18th and early 19th century helped shape the new American government into a strong country and set the example for those who followed them.